is going to say.
So what she can get.
And right at that moment, on the stage, she broke down and started sobbing. I had to go to the stage and console her. She apologized and said, I did not mean to break down when I got on the stage. But because the time, the moment was right, she allowed herself to go deep into her subconscious. She reached that void that she has always had, and she didn't know that void was there. The truth of the matter is, this void of not knowing where you come from, it is real among descendants of former slaves. Let's acknowledge it. And it is that void that controls whether you realize it or not, every decision you make, because you're like a ship without an anchor. And until that void is filled by reconnecting with your roots, and they are connected to their anchor. Until descendants of former slaves reconnect with their anchor, that void is always going to be there. And Africa has a responsibility to fill that void. Which is why the message might be sent out loud and clear that if you are of African descent, Africa is home and you're welcome.
Africa is home and you're welcome. Thank you so much.
And that we must make every step, take every step to reconnect, to go home. We must take it a step further. And that's something we have to work on. That the decision of the 6th region must be made. Most of you don't realize the way in which decisions are made at the African Union. Issues go through the Permanent Representative Council, which is made up of 55 ambassadors from each country. They reside in Addis. From the PRC, decisions go to the Executive Council, which is made up of the 55 foreign ministers. And from the Executive Council, it then goes to the heads of states for the final decision. The 6th region only ended at the executive level. It has not progressed to the heads of states, where it is now going to be a decision that needs to take place. And when it does take place, through our unity and engaging the African heads of states, it is my humble opinion, and I hope all of you can join me as we push this issue forward, that when you were born and you identified yourself, or your parents did, identified you as black, that there qualifies you to be an African. And as an African, therefore, you don't need a DNA test to tell you where you're from. You can simply say, I'm black, I'm African. But furthermore, as we push this issue of the 6th region, we must also make sure that we indicate in that document that descendants of former slaves should be free to pick whatever country they want to be a citizen of.
Yes, Ambassador.
We are going into the era of the protocols for the free movement of people. The protocols for the free movement of people are in the process of being ratified. Once ratified, we only need 15 countries to ratify. Once ratified, Africans born on the continent can live and work and establish themselves wherever they want on the continent. The issue of the African diaspora definition as it stands today is shallow. It is incomplete. Let me make myself clear. Picture, we are going on a journey. And we say, oh, all African diaspora, all people of African descent, let's go on this journey. And we are all happy-go-lucky, feeling warm and fuzzy on the inside until we get to a certain point. It's a checkpoint. And that's when the security guard said, oh, excuse me, only those born on the continent can proceed. That's what this definition is like. You see, as a descendant of former slaves who's not born on the continent, you do not qualify for the African passport. As a descendant of former slaves, you do not qualify to live and work wherever you choose on the continent. So when the decisions are being made that applies to those born on the continent, they are leaving out descendants of former slaves. So that proclamation of the sixth region and African diaspora as all people of African descent, it is incomplete. It needs to be totally inclusive of all. And that's something we must advocate. And we want to make sure that when we take the sixth region as a decision, that it truly makes us all equal and it is completely inclusive. That our children can always get up and say, you know what? You mess with me, I'm on the next flight to Ghana. And I am back in Ghana. That is what true liberation is all about. So we're on a mission, and I can assure you it's going to happen. Because together, we're going to let the heads of states know that we are coming home. And we intend to play our part in building the Africa that we want. And no one is going to stop us.
A round of applause for that, Your Excellency. That is rather very